Hello, dear friends. Some prefer economic topics and others prefer esoteric topics. But current affairs rule, and the most important news on any topic is the one that takes precedence. The global race for central bank digital currency has been won by the Bahamas instead of China. This is not the QFS, but it is a very important advance towards the change of the financial system. This is what is called in Spain putting a spade in Flanders. Opinion articles. The Bahamas beats China. First official digital currency created by the Central Bank of the Bahamas. It's called the Sand Dollar and it's an innovative solution. It is very useful for an economy scattered over 30 islands. It has the same properties as cash. It is intended to create an anonymous and decentralized economy. Users can store them in any digital wallet. The Federal Reserve is also studying a digital dollar. Spain could gain more power with a digital currency of its own. Barack Obama also talked about UFOs at the Pentagon. Luis Elizondo acknowledges that government possesses exotic material. Elon Musk predicts that movies like Interstellar will become a reality. Chinese professor says the West was defeated in biological warfare. Many are frightened by the truth and cling on their cognitive dissonance. Others follow the news with interest, knowing that everything is about to change. Let's start. The world's first official digital currency has been created by the Central Bank of the Bahamas a week ago. It is called Sand Dollar, and its value is the same as US dollar. In this way, the Bahamas has won the race against China, the United States and Europe, and has become the first country in the world to launch its own digital currency. The Central Bank of the Bahamas issues and regulates the Sand Dollar available to individuals and businesses that want to buy or sell goods and services, as well as make money transfers. This first central digital bank currency is an electronic currency based on digital records or tokens representing the same value as normal central bank money, and more than 130,000 have been issued. It aims to give financial institutions some dominance over the centralized economy. It is intended to create a completely anonymous and decentralized economy, which doesn't mean that the identifier of each wallet is unknown. In addition, transfers are free from the control of oversight of the world's major banks. It is an alternative to cryptocurrencies, so users can store them in any digital wallet. Bahamas won the race. Although since the end of 2019 China has been studying how to launch its own digital currency, and everything indicated that it would be the first country to launch it, the Bahamas positioned itself at the forefront and launched the Sand Dollar to bring financial services closer to its population. Now, in the islands that make up the Caribbean country, its inhabitants have access to a currency whose exchange rate is equal to the Bahamian dollar, a currency that has the same value as the US dollar. It has the same properties as cash, that is, there are no transaction fees or costs. Using the Sand Dollar doesn't even require a bank account or a cell phone, although that is how most transactions are conducted. The International Monetary Fund called the digital solution an innovative initiative, as the Sand Dollar represents a cutting-edge form of financial inclusion. 13 islands. 30 or 13, not 13. The new currency aims to promote more inclusive access to regulated payments and other financial services for underbanked communities and socio-economic groups. The Bahamas are north of Cuba and east of Florida, and form an island country with some 400,000 inhabitants scattered across some 30 islands. Some 20% of Bahamians don't have a bank account, and this population is joined by others who cannot use the electronic banking service. They need to travel to another island by boat in order to make cash payments, but these procedures become impossible when the public transport service is suspended due to a hurricane, for example. Today, there are two American countries, Ecuador and El Salvador, that use the US dollar as their official currency, in addition to Panama, which is a very advanced stage of dollarization. This Bahamian example could help other countries to adopt a similar model, enabling universal access to financial services for their citizens. Another interest option for Spain would be for the Bank of Spain to introduce a similar system in order to strengthen the Spanish economy. Christian Jewelry, founder of the Chiemgauer regional currency in Germany, has already made a similar proposal to help countries most affected by the crisis. Short news. The Fed is studying a digital dollar. Chairman Jerome Powell recalled that the Federal Reserve itself is planning to implement its own digital dollar and announced that the Fed plans to release a discussion paper this summer that will explore the implications of rapidly evolving technology for digital payments, with a particular focus on the possibility of issuing a US central bank digital currency. Bitcoin's rebound loses steam on growing regulatory concerns. Beset by mounting regulatory pressure, Bitcoin hovered around $40,000 on Friday, halting its attempt to recover from this week's massive drop. A speculative bubble. Programmer and entrepreneur Vitalik Buterin, creator of Ethereum, claims not to be surprised by the recent widespread crypto market crash, during which its main currencies plummeted by double-digit percentage values, as according to him, virtual currency prices are in a speculative bubble. Texas reports 0 deaths. The Texas State Department last Sunday reported its first day without a single death from the bug since March 21st, 2020. Confronted in an interview last month, Dr. Fauci finally acknowledged that he couldn't explain the Texas success, and President Biden criticized Republicans in Texas as Neanderthal thinking, in quotes. Europe. US investors look to Europe. As US stocks are hit by a bout of volatility, some investors are looking to European stocks attracted by lower valuations. Eurozone recovery accelerates in May to 3-year heights on demand pull. Growth in Eurozone private sector activity reached its fastest pace in 39 months in May, rising to 56.9 points from 53.8 in April, thanks to a strong increase in demand, which reached a 15-year high. UK consumer spending soars as economy reopens. British shoppers snapped up new clothes in April after stores reopened following months of closure, adding to signs of a solid economic recovery. Official data showed Friday that elsewhere the German economy could put the downturn behind in the autumn, by the Bundesbank said. Spain. Spanish stock market continues positive trend up to 0.55%. The Spanish stock market, which has been flat all morning, is leaning toward a slight uptrend this midday, up to 0.55% after news that Eurozone activity grew in May as the fastest pace since February 2018, according to consultancy Market. Bit2Me launches the first Spanish investment fund specialized in blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Bit2Me has launched the first Spanish investment vehicle specialized in blockchain and cryptocurrencies, baptized under the name Bit2Me Capital. This investment vehicle will offer investment capital to startups and entrepreneurs, as well as accelerators and private investors. The border of Ceuta dawns calm again after a night without pressure. The Tarajal border that separates Ceuta from Morocco, as well as the border breakwater, have not recorded attempts to enter this night or in the early hours of this Friday morning, so that 2 days without activity in the area have already been completed. Ceuta says that between 8,000 and 10,000 migrants entered and that 6,600 have returned. The government of the autonomous city of Ceuta has argued that in the avalanches of Moroccan immigrants and some sub-Saharan Africans occurred between Monday and Tuesday entered the city between 8,000 and 10,000 people, of which 6,600 have already returned to their country, although I distrust the official figures. The Supreme Court rejects the perimeter closures in the Canary Islands. The Supreme Court of Spain has rejected on Friday the appeal filed by the government of Canary Islands against the refusal of the High Court of Justice of that community to endorse the perimeter closure of the islands with the highest level of alert. Spain will start to receive inoculated international tourists next June 7th. Spain will allow from next June 7th the entry to travelers from all countries that prove to have received the jab. Brussels asks not to apply restrictions to the trips with certificate. The European Commissioner for Justice and Home Affairs, Didier Reynders, asked the member states to apply the least possible restrictions to the free circulation once the travel certificate with inoculation data comes into force. The heat says goodbye and gives way to a cool and rainy weekend in the east. The almost summer heat that accompanies us these days said goodbye on Friday to give way to a cooler weekend, with temperatures plummeting more than 10 degrees on Saturday in the north, accompanied by rain in the eastern half of the peninsula and the Balearic Islands, sometimes heavy and persistent. Middle East. Truce between Israel and Hamas after 11 days of fighting. A truce between Israel and Hamas was established Friday after the worst violence in years, with the US President vowing to save the devastated Gaza Strip and the United Nations urging renewed Israeli-Palestinian dialogue. Iran rejects Canadian court ruling blaming it for downing Ukrainian plane. Iran said Friday that the Canadian Provincial Court has no jurisdiction to rule on claim for damages over the crash of a Ukrainian passenger plane shot down by Iran's Revolutionary Guards last year. 1 year less life expectancy due to alcohol consumption. Excessive alcohol consumption causes an average of loss of almost 1 year of life expectancy in 52 countries. Due to diseases and accidents it causes, according to a report published on Wednesday. End of modernity. Modernity is impossible without widespread peaceful engagement with strangers, and such engagement is impossible with mutual trust. Without mutual trust. Yet, 60 months ago, we were told to abandon our modern liberal sensibilities. Communist professor says West defeated in biological war with China. A professor with close ties to the Chinese Communist government has claimed that his country defeated the United States in 2020, won a biological war and put America back in its place, in quotes. The comments were made by Chen Ping, a senior research fellow at the China Institute of Food and University, a CCP-affiliated think tank and professor at Peking University. Mystery news. Barack Obama also talked about UFOs at the Pentagon. The former president wanted to give his opinion on the existence of UFOs and extraterrestrial life in an interview on the Late Late Show. When it comes to, in quotes, when it comes to aliens, there are some things I just can't tell you on the air. Obama told host James Corden. Trump also became the first president to admit he received a briefing on the matter. He said they were watching aliens to news anchor George Stephanopoulos. Luis Elizondo admits government has exotic material. The former head of the U.S. Army's defunct UFO research agency has alleged that the government has exotic material allegedly taken from unidentified object as Congress awaits a report of unexplained aerial phenomena. Luis Elizondo told Fox News' Tucker Carlson that the government possesses physical evidence linked to the elusive entities more commonly known as UFOs. In quotes, the US government is in possession of exotic material and I leave it at that, he said, adding that they are in possession of exotic material and more analysis needs to be done. Elon Musk predicts that movies like Interstellar will come true. Entrepreneur Elon Musk, founder of the SpaceX agency, predicted that technological mites that appear in movies like Interstellar will come true during his video conference intervention at the Russian Forum New Knowledge, which was held on May 21st. He assured that human beings must develop space colonization in a gradual way. First, to travel throughout our solar system, something that can't be done with current physics, the development of rockets or the creation of devices with orbital recharging capacity. However, he estimates that moving to other solar systems is a very difficult problem, since closest one is 4 light years away. Musk believes that the most effective way to achieve this goal is to use the collapse of matter against antimatter, which would allow reaching 10 or 20% of the speed of light. To take this step, Elon Musk assures that we must establish self-sufficient bases on the Moon and Mars, which would allow the development of interplanetary trips and then move on the next stage, which would be interstellar trips. Messages. The infamous comfort zone. The frequency of the Earth is steadily increasing, and what we are witnessing now on the planet is a splitting of frequencies. That is, there are those who have ascended and continue to ascend with the new vibrational level of the Earth, and there are those who continue to choose the density of 3D reality as their preferred place of residence. The infamous comfort zone. A large proportion of the planet's population ascends to a higher frequency, and then there are those who are terrified of the truth and cling to their cognitive dissonance as if there is no tomorrow. This creates frequency division, and since both are played out simultaneously on the same planet, it is exploding. Riots, protests, and shortages for some, while others watch and follow the daily news with excitement. knowing that everything is about to change for the greater good of humankind. It is important to know that not all souls have chosen to ascend in this lifetime. They have come in search of other experiences that they thought they would benefit from with regard to their soul evolution. The dark forces are trying everything to regain their power and will stop at nothing. Everything is designed to keep you trapped in the construct of the 3D matrix of fear and control. The dark side have always used holographic insets, staged events and all kinds of deception supported by the mainstream media, which they own and control to create a reality for you that would bind you into their magical spells, literally. You must become the keeper of the frequency. This means that you not only raise your vibration, but you keep it high no matter what. This is how you can make this frequency accessible to others. You can't go around dragging people into 5D. You can't force human beings to wake up, and you don't know what their souls have chosen to experience in this lifetime. You cannot violate their free will, but you can make your life an example that invites others to follow, to participate in your beautiful experience, to share your wisdom and find peace in yours. This planet is inevitably ascending into the fifth dimensional reality of unconditional love. Mother Goddess Gaia will shake off everything that doesn't correspond to her frequency, her reality of love. Overnight, the mystical creatures that were expelled from the planet long ago will return to their rightful habitat. Just as Avalon disappeared when the human frequency had fallen so low that they could no longer see it, it will reappear, and with it the magic, wisdom and love of the 5D Earth. At the same time, a 3D version of Earth will continue to represent its dramas, fears and control system for those souls who need more time for their ascension process. As Jesus said, many are called, but few are chosen. Thanks a lot, dear friend. Have a weekend. A good weekend. A very happy weekend. Thanks a lot.